Guys, I hope you guys had a beautiful weekend. So I was just preparing, making sure that we have the right things on board. I hope you guys are all doing well. You guys are all doing well. You can drop a comment, obviously, in the chat box whenever you guys wanna mention something. We do have a chat box so that you'll be able to just yes, we do have one whereby you'd be able to just reach out, and then once you've reached out, that's where we want to take things and make it more bigger. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my screen. Perfect. Just to confirm, can you guys see my screen? Can you guys hear me? Just to confirm before we start with the session. Can you guys hear me? Everything is good, bro. Let's do this. Okay, perfect, guys. So I'm gonna be starting up first with the dollar index right here. So the previous week, you can see we saw this. I don't like removing my analytics after, like, especially when I see something, because even if it does happen, I wouldn't want, short-term long, long-term sell. So what I was seeing at that time was, let me just go back. I would want it to be more on us. Price was still here, and I was like, okay, now I'd like to see price come up here and then go back down. So it did go slightly down, and then it did go up. Eventually there we wanted it to go, touched it, and then eventually now you can see it's slightly going down. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start off first with the the daily, just so I have a bigger understanding, because I wanna look. These are the markets that I want to be looking at for the week: gold, GBP, JPY, Euro, USD, US30, and the natural gas markets. So this is what I'll be looking at for the week, because I saw nice how it's moving. Because others, yeah, man, sometimes when something's not making sense, no need to force it. If gold doesn't make sense to you, no need to force it. Anyways, trading is about you. It's not about having to show other people, what you're comfortable with and all that. It's about what you are really comfortable with. So here I can see with the dollar index, we got this be our low. Eventually had this be our second low, which is a double. So basically, we got these three soldiers that actually eventually pushed up these engulfing candles. So we're looking for price to just maybe retest and then continue going back upwards. But with the looks of it, since we've reached these support levels and we're pushed, we're looking for price at least to come somewhere above these highs, and this is on the daily time frame, somewhere around these highs. And this is more likely going to be a longer term sell. Longer term buy, longs. So in the long term, you might be seeing buys, unless only if price happens to break and close below and then goes back down. That's when now it's change of no longer like an uptrend. Now it's changing, it's going downwards, you understand? So that's how you have to view it. Shouldn't just be a mindset of, oh no, it's gonna buy forever and nothing else. If it's going down, you just wanna buy. No, you need to always have a mindset of price can do something like this, let's say, for instance. But yeah, and then so what I'm gonna do is I just wanna adjust this. Yes, right here. I'd like to adjust this. Yes, so that I can see, okay, with my methods, what I do is that obviously we got lower lows, lower highs, and the price broke the lows. We broke above here, which is our change of character right here. As soon as we broke above, this broke structure. So this was a break above, which was the change of character, and this was a break of structure right here. And price continued to just skyrocket upwards. So we can see this candle, bearish candle here, is where we got our initial order block, where price basically couldn't it didn't come back to retest these areas, which was the last bearish candlestick just before price started pushing upwards and gaining all these momentums. And at the same time, you can see this was at news. It was news that were happening at this time at around 8, but price started pushing upwards and went all the way up. So with that, I understand that how price is moving, there's a high chance that price can potentially come back down, because anyways, looking at this could potentially be a left shoulder right here and a head right here, and potentially maybe a right shoulder. We'll just see what happens, and then go down. But this could potentially go down a bit, so that we eventually come here, so we are able to activate those nice orders, and then that's where we see ourselves going up. So that's what we're looking for now on the dollar index. Just a short-term sell and then longer-term buys. So let me come here and then what? So now on gold, what I'm looking at now is the previous week I was actually looking for price to reject here, come back down somewhere here so we could buy and then go back up. But price just went up and it broke above, and I was like, no, I don't want it to break up yet. I still want to benefit from, but it just continued going and going. But you can see here, obviously gold has been breaking all-time highs for the last, I don't know, man. You can see it's been breaking every single day. So basically looking for a sell would be wrong, which allows us to just continue looking for buys. So here I've got my first touch, second touch is here, and then now here the third touch. This is on the 1 hour time frame, third touches. So I'm gonna go to the 15-minute just so I have a more deeper understanding. Clean it up. I'm just gonna evolve this because this is already standing. I'm gonna evolve it and have it be here. Boom. Okay, so now it's my first touch, it's my second touch. This is where we are, and looking at it is just, obviously I don't like buying such trades because of the fact that, like, look at it, it's more like you're buying its resistance. So I wouldn't necessarily really buy it right now, truly speaking, even though it makes sense. But more, we've got a double top structure here, double top, but at the same time we also got this be our first touch, this be our second, and now this be our third touch, plus this hammer. So truly speaking, with all the evidence that we're looking at, it makes sense for us to actually be able to just purchase it somewhere here, have a risk reward 1:2. But with that, it's also tough because with the risk to reward as well, it's hard to be able to spot in terms of if price is going to break highs. Because anyways, right now where we now at the second peak of the double top, which means that there is potential of price going a bit more upwards. But at the same time, it's also tricky because of the fact that price could still respect and like try to retrace a bit. Because anyways, if it's forming highs and it's very expensive, maybe it might want to retrace. And look at the retrace. Some retraces, some people are not going to be able to hold. If you buy it here, even if it retraces, you can't hold that retracement all the way down to here or all the way. There's people that do that, but those are people that I think maybe have bigger accounts and they can maybe enter with small lots, and the more it goes down, they can enter more trades. But I don't think for us we want to do that. We don't want to still hold on to losses and so on. So, but yeah, this is what we're seeing. And then let's go to as low as the 5 minute to just see if I happen to look for an entry. Where exactly would I enter? So right now I can easily see that we had this area be our low, lower high. I mean, couldn't break the lows, and then now we broke this high. So higher high here. Then after we have this, we have a break of structure somewhere here. You can see it broke these structures here. And then we went, and then we as well had this break right here. We broke above here. So it honestly would be nice for price to be able to come back down and test somewhere around here. But looking at it, we had already tested here with this week. So I was gonna look at it this way, obviously break above here. With this bearish candle, we already tested it here. So normally when prices tested and done some things like this, it's hard for it to come back and test those areas. So right now we're moving to our next area before here, because anyways you can see this is where our new break of structure is, and then price pushed a bit more upwards, and now we are basically playing within structure. So before that break of structure happened, there's this previous bearish candlestick that happened right here. So that's what I'm looking at. So basically I'll be looking at price to be cheap when it gets there, which means that if price happens to go down here, now one of the things that these are like those high quality setups that we wait for is because obviously some people are going to be in a rush and maybe they want to buy now because it looks like it's going to buy now, or some people just want to buy as soon as it touches this trend line. But we're not trading trend lines, and we're not trading all those methods. We literally just buy when price is cheap, and if this thing is going up, for price to be cheap it has to go down, which means that looking at it already, even if I pull out my Fibonacci retracement, let me pull it out. I'm going to take it from here at the low of this higher low all the way here at this high. You can see price retraced all the way down to the 61.8 level, and anyways here is at the 88.6 level, which makes it better for us to be able to even stack up more evidence towards what we are trying to do. Because even with the 61.8, this could be seen as a Gartley pattern. Gartley's normally they say we must enter it on the 127 of the extension. So I'm going to pull it out. I want to see what the 127 is saying. Okay, I'm going to delete this. Here's the 127. It's right here. Those where the entry should be. And when I'm looking at that Fibonacci, the entry somewhere here in within structure. Plus, at the same time, for me, I was looking at entering here because of this order block here. You understand? So now I've stacked up evidence. I've got that 88.6 as an entry. I've got this 127 as an entry. I've also as well got this order block. So now it's more on looking at which is going to give me the best risk to reward. So I'm going to look at obviously my first initial entry, which is going to be here. I'm going to come here. Stop loss is going to have to be below. Just below here. And then take profit 1:2 somewhere here. Yes, and then like this, I'm comfortable with this. And then obviously now this is just let me delete this so as well we just keep it clean. But this is just more on like also because this is like 1:2. This way obviously looking to taking profit. But once we get there, we're gonna scale things up. We'll be targeting here. Once price gets here, we know that there's a high chance we're gonna break these highs anyways because we are breaking higher highs and higher highs. So once we break these highs, we're gonna go up and then find out that maybe we even come somewhere like to the top side with it, like I don't know, maybe somewhere here or whatever the case is. But that's how we're gonna be managing it. That's the management. The first thing is catching the trade. The second is managing it, you know. So yeah, that's what we're looking for. So I'm just gonna let it be like this. Is what I'm waiting for right now. This is my high quality setup for the day, especially on gold, starting off with it. Okay, so let's go to GBP JPY. So this one here, the previous week, we were looking at the buy. Even though, look at these markets, they don't really move too clean. Even if it goes upwards, look at these up, down, and so many things going on. So yeah, this is where we were the previous week. We got a buy. That buy was beautiful. We did benefit. But on Friday, I think that's where we had this engulfing bearish candlestick. You can see massive on the daily. So I'm going to go on the 4 hour just to see. So on the 4 hour, I can see the price eventually broke below the structure here. And here it's more like a retesting, a retrace that's happening. But I'm going to go lower just so I have more better understanding. Okay. So now I can see, okay, obviously we had this impulse correction, impulse, and now we are in this deep correction. So in this correction, if I may just label it out, I'm seeing, okay, this type of a pattern. This here, because I've drew from here, second here. And then we've also got this is our lower high and lower low. So I'm going to take from the lower high. We've also got these right here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to filter out this impulse because I'm going to treat this as an impulse, even though impulse correction impulse. This though can be an impulse on its own. So I want to just filter it so it's an impulse. I mean, it's a correction. So I deal with this section as its own correction. But I don't think this forms as an impulse on its own. Yes, on a 1 minute or 5 minute, it forms as an impulse. But on the 1 hour, it's not because of the fact that we came from this impulse. Now this is a correction. It's just a deeper correction. So we see where we are already. First touch, second touch. We're now at the third touch. Even here, first touch, second touch. And so with these types of structures here already, I can see that we've rejected this area multiple times, all these times. We're now at the third touches. So if I can wait for a candlestick confirmation, plus luckily now it's London session, which means that it confirms where we're trying to go. If I can just wait for a confirmation, it will allow us to be able to enter this. So I'm going to go to as well as the 15 minutes and then the 5 minutes to look for entries. So on the 15 minutes, I can see there's still 8 more minutes for this candlestick to close. And already I like how it's moving because it done this inverted hammer. It rejected massively. It touched our third touches. Basically, all evidence is agreeing to it. Ne? So it's just more on waiting for the candle to close, obviously, because if you don't wait for it, find out that this was just a rejection. I mean, not a rejection. This was coming back to break above and you entered it early because you wanted, obviously, fear of missing out. So on the 5 minute, I'm sure on the 5 minutes is where already there could be some signs of entries. Yeah, so on the 5 minute I can see we had this inverted hammer here, massive one that closed. Plus as well we had these areas that got like, tested so many times. This area got tested, this area got tested, this area as well got tested, this area we did get tested here, this one we tested here, this one tested here. No, the one that tested here was this one. You can see this was our order block here. We tested it. It was going to be a nice entry, and then now here we are. So I'm not going to be in a rush, truly speaking. I think there's two ways to it. Either I'm gonna want to enter it somewhere around here where obviously it's a risk entry because it can go up. It didn't confirm, and I'm looking to tag obviously 1:2, whereby it's gonna be like this, and I can try to benefit this, but it's more like I did say, it's a risk entry. There's a higher chance of this trade giving more profits, but it's also more riskier. That's one of the things you need to always remember with such trades. See, you could have entered here, already been in profits, now going all that, but it's risky. Why is it risky? Because it could have still went up and not go down. You get it? So that's why I don't really like taking risk trades, especially when you're trying to trade proper. But I take them on like maybe other accounts that I would have on the side that I don't mind taking such trades. That's totally fine with me. So what am I going to wait for? I think just to be on the safe side, truly speaking, I'm not to even take any risk trades and things like this here. I'm just going to wait for price to break the lows. Here's the low. Price to break the low. Because I want to enter trades that I'm comfortable with. So I'm going to wait for price to break the low. Once price has broken the low, break the low. Once price has broken the low, I'll wait for price to come back. Because now once it has broken the low, it confirms its move, which is to the downside, because it broke the lows, which means that lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows, and lower highs, and so on. And then once it has broken the lows, I would want for price to come back and test this area of resistance. But I'll see which was the last candlestick that presented that order block before price went down to break those lows. And then once I see that, once I spot that, once I'm comfortable with that, that's why I'll wait for price to come back. And then can take a couple of hours, and then that's where I'll take maybe a sell. I'll just see wherever however price presented it. But I know that this is a more reduced risk entry. Mind you guys, it's not about taking profits all the time. It's also about taking trades that you are comfortable with, and at the same time being on the right side of the market, no matter what. Not trying to make money, but just be on the right side. Obviously our goal is to make money, but being on the right side will lead to us making money. But if you just try to make money, you're not gonna survive. Okay, so let's look at EURUSD. So far I'm seeing these two GBP and that. EURUSD, okay, I can see we had this area be our high. Since July, we had this area here. This was broken above. So obviously, with that means that the euro had a bit of strength, and then eventually the dollar overpowered it. So which you can see now the three soldiers came back. And these three soldiers that came back, these are the exact same three soldiers that went up here on a buy. We see the 1, 2, 3 engulfing upwards these ones here, but now it done the same thing but in the opposite way. 1, 2, 3. You understand? So I'm just gonna go to the 1 hour, truth speaking, so we can save more time on it. Yeah. So looking at it right now, I can easily see that okay, price did. It's more like confirming that it's going down. I'm looking for all those position stuff, but before it goes down, it will be nice to actually catch a trade. So I can see an area. This was our order block before price broke below, because anyways you can see this was our higher low, higher high, then price started breaking here. So we basically changed character right here, and then we have our break of structure right here, and another one potentially right here. But yeah, so this one got tested here, meaning that if we had this, and I already had this sell here, a sell here because of this candlestick, stop loss just above, take profit 1:2. Let's see if it was gonna go well. Yeah, it was gonna go well. Literally after we got activated with the week, all the way down, hit take profit. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are gonna adjust and then go on to the next one. This was our lower high. That means this is our recent lower high before this one got formed. So with that, it hasn't been tested yet, so there's still potential of it coming back to get tested. So I'm gonna put it here like this, then I'm gonna target this area like this, and then obviously now it means that I'm waiting for price to basically go a bit more. Let me just do this, go a bit more to the upside. It's still London session, so there's still more room Just gonna wait for price to go just a bit more to the upside, tag me in here, and then once I'm tagged in here, my stop loss is gonna be just above. How many pips are we looking at? 25 pips. You can see it here. And then my take profit is gonna be 1:2, which is gonna be here. It means like 50 pips. Yeah, 1:2. But I know that price is gonna come take out these lows because it's gonna have to form lower lows, which means that as soon as it gets to 1:2, I'm just gonna lock in profits, offload some profits, and then the more it goes down, the more I'm gonna lock in profits. Like I remember the last time when we were trading, we had GBP, US 30. We managed it in that way. So it's just one of the things that I want you to understand how management works. It's not about catching the trade. It's not about. It's literally about the management behind it, because you make more from the management. Yeah, and then once we catch it, and then we go all the way down with it. So that was on the 1 hour, though I'm gonna still have to filter and go to a smaller time frame, because I want to make sure that right here. So I'm looking at it. Where's our candle? So already with this, I can see that, like, let's say for instance, obviously we had this higher high, higher low, higher high, we broke here, we broke above again, higher low, higher high, and then now it's more like we broke here. So with this, obviously now someone would be looking at this area and saying that, I'm looking for price to come back so it goes down. But for me, it's too sudden. And look here we broke it, but we still went back in. So it's not too concrete. I wouldn't really want to work with that, even though it does make sense, but I wouldn't want to work with that. So me, I'm going to come to this one here that hasn't been tested. This has not been tested at all. And I wouldn't want to sell here. I wouldn't want to sell here, stop loss here, let's say whatever target, and maybe it takes me out stop loss, and then now I'm like, oh yeah, but I should have waited to sell here, those things. So I'm preparing ahead, so I don't have to go through those things even mentally. So this is what I'm going to be looking now. Look at the fact that I'm now on a 5-minute time frame. What it's going to do is that it's going to take down my stop loss to less than 25 pips. Why? Because I just went to a smaller time frame. My stop is going to be above here. Look, now on 14.8, let's say 15 pips. I'm comfortable with 15 pips. So I took out 10 pips just by going down 5 minutes. If I was trading on a 1 hour, I would still have 25 pips stop loss. But now because I took it down, I'm on this. And let's throw 1:2. I'm looking at 30 pips stop loss. I'm making 2. But looking at it coming all the way down today, it's no longer that 4%. It's now 7, which means that the more I hold it, the more it moves in my direction. There's a high chance that we can go home with like a 7%. Okay. So yeah, man, that's actually what I'm looking at right now, especially here on this. So let me just delete these so I don't have too many things going on, especially in the past. This will just show that this, yes, is it's breaking lows, This is our lower high. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. So I can see there's a trend line on the daily with 3 touches. Okay, let's see. Trend line daily, I think maybe from here, because anyways you have to take it from the last 2 significant points. Can't really take it from here because it's old. Here it's the last 2 significant, this and this. So I'm gonna take it on the daily and as well here. First touch, second touch. Yeah, that means that at least if you can see, I saw all the way down to somewhere here. To somewhere here at the low, somewhere here. In fact, on the 90% of this trend line, you see this trend line here, the 90% of it, then this maybe we might see that buy, because here we're trying to get a sell, then we get this third touch, and then we might see a buy potentially. I hope that's what you meant already. But yeah, that's what we're looking for now on this GBP. Euro USD. No. But this was actually on the 15 minutes. What did I do? This was on the 15, yeah. It was on the 15. So I'm going to go on the 5. In fact, the 5, that means that it's going to be way more lesser. Like I would probably get a 10 pip stop. Okay, but no, it's still fine. It's still fine because anyway, this is our candle. And yeah, no, it's still fine. It's still fine. So, but yeah, we'll look into it once it gets there. So I'll just mark it. Yeah, let's look at US 30. So yeah, US 30, I can see we're still spiking upwards. Let me see. The previous week we caught multiple trades here. I think another one here, I forgot, but yeah. So right now, let's see. Let me delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this. This was supposed to be an entry, but yeah, I can see price basically had these lows, respected here, and then we went back up. Obviously, you can see we had price pushing upwards. First touch, second touch. Not touches, impulsing candles. See them, and then now we are in this corrective phase. So this is on the 1 hour. Price broke above here at the highs. So let me do this. Here's the highs, broke above them. You can see right here we broke above these highs. Yes. So now basically, truly speaking, I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to want for price to come back here at the bottom, test the lows, and then go back up, because anyways, you can't buy price when it's high. But let me go on the 15 minutes to see. So yes, yeah, I can see these are how the breakout happened. Let me remove this, remove this, remove this. Now I'm looking for price to go higher than where it is currently. Which means that when I'm looking for it to go higher, just below something more like this. This will run is to 2. This would make more sense. And we might see price breaking below here too. So this is going to be like, inside structure, when we can even find another opportunity in structure, meaning that price can and then break. Obviously now you see it broke the lows here, and then then it goes back up. Then because of this, find a sell somewhere here, sell, and then go all the way down, then go back up. You see, so it won't really move like where it is right now, and then boom, and then boom. No. In fact, if it moves like that, I'm gonna be scared. It's gonna move like how the market moves, man. Like the market doesn't move very easy, very perfect, very vividly. Like you can see that this thing is gonna be buying from where it is now, and you have all the confidence, but find out that it's going a bit more down first before it buys. So if you don't know the market, obviously you won't catch those trades, because you'll be like, no, why me? Why is it going against me and all that? And then boom, you missed out. So it's not a personal thing. It's not personal. So you see already here what I have. First touch, second touch. We still want to come to the third touch. Price can bounce back here, go up, and then break down. There's still more things that can happen. That's why I'm going to have to wait for my setup to show up. I'm not going to try the market to tell me when to trade and when not to trade. I'm going to wait for my setup to show up. Okay. So also I was looking at the natural gas market. So I can see that we have this push upwards, high, low, high, higher, low, higher highs. And then here we were basically at the same low area. Means a change of trend, which means now we're going all the way down, and there could be some potential sells all the way down to here. But for me, I'm looking at potential sells to all the way down to these areas here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the 4 hour. Okay, and then I can see that we had this area here being our low. Then after we had this area here being our low, we got tested here after I believe the news came up here. We got tested here. And then we continue obviously pushing back upwards. So here I was just trying to see if something was going to work. But we pushed upwards and then we pushed downwards. But as we pushed downwards, I can see obviously this was like a low right here. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Valid ones. So here where we are, since we noticed that price might potentially want to sell off, and here where we are at the low, because looking at it, low, low, low. So there could be a push to the upside, and then after a push to the upside, somewhere here at the resistance, because this is a lower high, then we might look for some sells and go back down. But how we're going to do that, let me just go on the 15. So on the 15 minutes, I can see that price literally right here is where we're looking for that. But on this section, I'm not really seeing anything interesting because the candlesticks are a bit too huge. I can see we've got this area here be our push before price started like seeing all these bearish candles. This was the bullish candle. So let me just go on the 5 minutes just to see if that price actually makes sense for like if like the entry that I'm looking at. So yes, I can see right here that we had this push up. This was our first the order block here, and then we pushed down. Then basically this tested it. This one that is a bit more vivid, clear in terms of being able to spot out a nice clean candle. Because why? Because we're still targeting those lows. Still targeting the lows here. These ones got broken, which means we are also looking for these ones to get broken. So when we do happen to come and find a sell here, it's not going to be the risk reward that we're going to look for. Yes, our stop loss is going to be here. It has to be above here, the lower high. Plus as well, I'm looking at it, guys. It does make sense. Like I'm going to take, so potentially that's what we are going to be looking for, because looking at it, like I did mention that this, since we're now looking at this be our first touch, this being our second touch, here being our third touch, and on top of the third touch, this candlestick is the one where there's actually orders that are pending. So if we can put our order somewhere here so that when other people are like selling in between or doing certain things, we safe. And our stop loss is above the lower high here, which just makes it even more safer and stuff. Plus as well, we're looking at this 1:2. Obviously, we're looking into taking out the lows and going more to create lower lows. You understand? So that's why even the risk reward of 1:2 right here, it makes perfect sense, because we are going to take out these lows and scale to get more lower lows. So basically also this makes sense. Okay, these two, they're not ready right now. These two, the ones that I'm looking at being close to ready, it's this one here too, but I'm still waiting on certain things, and as well this one here. Okay, but yeah guys, I just wanted you guys to see what I'm looking at for the week, because normally I take setups from my watch list to my day scan, which means that the watch list is just what I was looking at, you know, now and then when I'm just bored I look at it, but my day scan is what I'm now looking for, actual entries and trades that are going to be ready positioning themselves and so on. And yeah man, whenever I find opportunities, obviously I am going to be sharing in the Discord, in terms of, because I use the Discord more on like journaling down, so I can also see all the trades that I take, wins, losses, what I saw before, what's happening after, and so on. So that's why you guys also have a portal in the student section whereby you can also share your like analysis and trades, because why? You're able to see what is your before, you're able to see what's your after, you're able to just see what the outcome is and so on. You understand? So it helps out massively.